Action. I am live now. Good day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are joining us from. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. As you all know, I'm doing a join live every Thursday. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, my guest is here. Yes, so grateful, guys. Today live. Good day. How are you? I can hear you. Is it just me? Let's see.
All right, how's that?
Oh, beautiful.
All right. I was trying headphones for the first time. That's okay.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that we're going to talk about making stronger connection with our soul through heart
For
and
sure.
being heartfelt. So tell my followers, where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself. What made you lead you to this path?
All right, for sure. Yeah, my name is Simon Kalman. I currently reside in Canada, but we're actually going to be moving to Costa Rica here pretty soon. I was born in the UK. Spent most of my time in Europe, kind of traveling around, and then I had chronic illness for about 20 years, from about 20 years old till I was about 40. And then I recovered from that and some other accidents and stuff, kind of using very much heart-based healing and connecting to my spirit and heart and stuff. And that's kind of led me down that now I do a lot of kind of energy healing, psychic stuff, mediumship, all sorts of different types of things. And yeah, so that's kind of me in a nutshell. There's a big long story, but everybody has a big long story. So
Beautiful.
yeah.
We love to hear. So when did you move to Canada, and what part of Canada are you?
At the moment, we live in Calgary, which is in Alberta on the west coast. And I've lived here since 2006. And prior to that, I used to travel. I used to travel around the world I used to snowboard for a living. So I would travel around the world snowboarding in different places. And then I came to Canada and met my wife. And then I gave that up and just took a different life, different path.
So why Costa Rica?
You know what? We were looking to work in the US, actually, my wife and I. And we kind of got that step and that motivation going to kind of make a move and make a shift. And we've been thinking about this for a while, just to kind of shift things a little bit. And then, you know what, that door kind of closed slightly just because of visa things. And then, but we were motivated then. And then I just started thinking, I'd rather be close to the ocean and stuff like this. And I have friends in Costa Rica. And then we thought, well, you know what, we're gonna head there and try a new thing. We're taking two cats, my wife, my daughter, everything, selling everything. And we're just gonna go and live life. There's going to be lots of opportunities. When you make a shift and change, that's when opportunities come up. So that's a big reason why we're doing it.
So have you spoken to someone who lives in Costa Rica lately? I spoke to a friend of mine actually 2 nights ago.
Yeah, I've got a few friends that are out there that are doing the thing and enjoying themselves. So yeah, we're excited for a shift and a change.
Very cool. Well, like I said, I spoke to a friend of mine who is in Costa Rica right now, and he said they had a lockdown for 2 years, and they opened up for the last 2 months, but the pandemic hit them really hard. So he said, now if you come, he lives in San Diego.
Okay.
He said they encourage you to get a health insurance. And then, yeah, things are, so from his point of view, things weren't that well down there.
Yeah.
But everybody have their own vision, and
they do different perspectives and all the rest of it. So yeah, we'll see. Life is a journey, and it's got to be journeyed upon. That's my motto.
Yeah. So let's dive into our topic today. Would you like to?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we wondered what we could chat about, and I'll read what we wrote. We wrote that it was connecting to the soul through the heart and the energy of love, and that was I believe a big part of opportunity for healing for people on the planet and to open themselves up to a lot of their intrinsic abilities that maybe they're not connected to or are not aware that they're connected to. So we are all very intuitive. We are all basically spirit, just in kind of a physical form, and that's how we're born on the earth. Like our heart is the first organ that grows in us, and that's the first channel that this kind of energy of source flows through. And then during life and stuff, we kind of, that can get closed down just due to effects and families and all sorts of events and stuff, and it can kind of cut us off from a kind of a big supply of energy that can help us, I believe. So I spend a lot of time helping people connecting and reconnecting with that space within themselves and opening up to how amazing they really are.
Mm. And how do you do that? What is your approach?
You know what? It's really simple. Like, I'm not saying there's any right or wrong approach to doing this. I believe that there is no wrong way to kind of connect to kind of our heart and spirit and stuff. But I'm quite practical, and I prefer to just go straight to places. Like, I don't like to go around the houses. So when I was recovering, I was just wondering what's the quickest way I can kind of reconnect with that place. And over time, I was learning that that's kind of within my heart space. So I just started to feel my heart. Like, literally, that was what I would do. I would spend hours just sitting, meditating, and feeling my heart. And as simple as that sounds, it is so powerful. And literally anybody that has any kind of mental control over their body can do that. They can sit. And when I was doing this, I had spinal injury. So I was stuck in a chair. I couldn't move. So all I could do was reconnect with something. And that was just to feel my heart space. And what I found is the more I did that, the more I kept breathing into my heart and getting kind of this heart-mind connection, is that I started to get a lot more kind of information would kind of come to me, ideas would come to me, thoughts and things that I could do, maybe someone that I could call, an inspiration, maybe I should phone this person, or maybe I should try this. And really it kind of leads my life now. It's a big part of what leads me where I go. It's the reason we're going to Costa Rica. It doesn't sound sensible, but my heart is saying that's a place to go. So that's where I'm going.
Mm-hmm. So how often do you do this? Like, what would you recommend? What's the first step for someone who doesn't even know where their heart is, and how do they have to connect and how to get there?
That's it. That's a really wonderful question, actually, that I think that for a lot of people that are open to this, that a lot of us are quite closed off. Like, we may not even be able to feel our heart. We don't even really know what love is on a feeling level. We kind of maybe know it on a mental level, that this is what it maybe should look like, but we don't know what it feels like. And feeling is our power. Our power on earth is feeling. It's not thinking. Thinking is powerful, but our feeling is really where it comes from. And so I would really recommend anybody just to literally, we know that the heart is kind of left of center of your chest. Just feel that area. And if you can't feel in the center, feel outside of your heart. And just feel your lungs and then gradually just allow your physical feeling through your nerves to go inwards to your heart space. And just sit there and just feel it. And if your mind goes off everywhere and it takes you somewhere else, it's just go, oh, hey, that's my mind just gone off. And then just bring your awareness back to your heart and be kind to yourself. And just be aware that so many people have been conditioned to not be within the heart space, that it takes time. It takes time and practice and repetition. It's a skill set. This is a valuable skill set that we should teach everybody from heart. And children do this naturally. And I believe adults, as we get older here, we some of us need reteaching. And it really can be quite simple, just literally feeling your heart. If it helps to put your hands on your heart as well, that can help to direct your mind to where the energy should go. We also channel energy through our hands, so we're kind of sending healing energy into our heart. And breathe in and out of the heart, because the element of the heart is actually air. So breath works really well with the heart space. So we just breathe into the heart and breathe out of the heart. And there's a website called heartmath.org, and all they do is research about heart coherence. And they have a thing called an M-wave, which is a little electronic device that you can kind of plug onto your ear, and it lets you know if you're kind of in heart coherence. So you can actually have biofeedback to let you know that you're connected to your heart space. And it's just practice. And you know, if you can do 1 minute a day, do 1 minute a day, and then it's 2 minutes a day, then it's 3 minutes a day, then it's 5 minutes a day, then it's half an hour, and then it's an hour, and then you can start to live life from your heart. That you start to kind of think you live less from your thoughts and more from your heart space. And I can't stress enough how amazing it is and how powerful it is for people and their healing and their connection to other people. And yeah, I don't know. It fills me with joy. That's why I like talking about it.
Beautiful. I don't know if you're aware or not, I'm Iranian, and I just finished my Farsi live.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just pretty much give you a niche of what I talk about and see what's your thought of
Sure.
the way I'm looking at things.
Yes.
Of course, what I'm saying, you're probably familiar with Rumi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the teaching of Rumi from so many years ago and so many gurus from the East, they all talked about this. And it's not a new concept, but I think most of us during the since the 70s, we kept going back towards the very first teaching, the basics of spirituality, to recognize the I who is witnessing everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? So today I said, let's really make this I, give it a character, another character who is playing in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And because I work as a shaman, I often look at people as whole, looking at their souls. And when we come to a lower level, there are so many things that everything is separated. Like I have an ego, I have a mind, I have a soul, I have an inner child, and I have a higher selves. So many divisions we make, right?
Yeah.
But when we look from the higher above, it's all one.
Mm-hmm.
And in the mind, when it comes to the mind, we make so many divisions. Like here's my head, here's my throat, this 7 chakras, and here's this, and here's that. And there are so many divisions that are built that oftentimes people just get lost.
Mm-hmm.
So many people are looking to open the third eye, and that's the way to go. Some people, they want to go through the heart. Some people they got to work on their root chakras. And then we see so many methods of there to do EFT, to do this and to do that. And people are not really fundamentally getting help. You know, they want to understand this, they want to do this, they try this technique, but nothing really deeply changing from the root cause. And I often said, awakening, everything dissolves in that part of you that is awakened. And what separates us from being awake and doing all these different things is when we're not connected to that source, the wholeness, the divine, or whatever. Yeah. So today I said, let us all just notice this I. This I that is constantly thinking, this I that is constantly feeling, my physical body, this is my body, and is once upon a time it was a kid, and then it became a teenager, and then it ended up to become older and suffer in the old body. And one day I was born, and another time I'm going to die. And all this thing is happening into this I.
Yeah.
So what happens if we start just looking at this I? From the morning when I wake up, and I wake up from one dream and enter into another dream,
Mm-hmm.
which is created by this I, the ego mind.
Yeah.
I'm constantly aware of this I.
Yeah.
I'm watching this I every moment.
Yes.
And when this I starts thinking, I'm looking at this I and I say, he or she is thinking.
Yeah.
But I don't evolve and become one, get involved with that thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And then when emotion shows up, as we throughout the day, so many thoughts comes and goes. Some
Mm-hmm.
of them with that lens of judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Something is good, some thoughts are good, and some thoughts are bad, and we
Yeah.
gotta get rid of the negative bad thoughts, and we got to try to enforce the positive. And these are all actions, these are
Yeah.
all doing, and
Yeah.
we are constantly doing things.
Yeah.
But when I recognize this I and I separate myself from this I,
Yeah.
I'm just observing, I'm just watching this character who believes this movie, The Outer World, is real and is
Mm-hmm.
constantly trying to do things, trying to improve itself, trying to get rid of the bad energy and trying to bring in positive energy. These are all actions.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, myself, this really helped me by not believing in this I and just looking at it as a separate entity,
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
right? So the minute I'm separating myself from this I, this character, and I'm just watching this character, don't get involved with the thoughts and the emotions and the physical body. And is my energy up? Is my energy down? Am I on a higher frequency? Oh God, I'm not on a higher frequency because
Mm-hmm.
God forbid I have some bad thoughts, and
Yeah.
let's get rid of those thoughts and these emotions and all this thing. Once I reached that point, I came to another space that I'm just observing everything.
Yeah. I agree.
And I heard from an Indian guru many years ago that he said, what's real never changes, and everything that changes is not real.
Mm-hmm.
So the real I, because it's real, never changes, is never born, and it never dies. But this I character is constantly going through changes mentally, emotionally,
Yeah.
physically. So
Yeah.
that's not real.
No, and that's kind of the joy when that stops ruling your life, it can actually become the joy of your life because then you can start to have fun and play with this kind of persona almost like you can without taking it so seriously and you can start to have because if it wasn't it has a use. Like I think people are always trying to maybe that I don't want to be that, I don't want to be ego. Well, you can't get rid of those things. Everything is a part of us. You can't get rid of anything. You can't get rid of bad thoughts. You can't get rid. And in fact, our resistance to bad thoughts and this is what creates more of that to keep going and going and going. So, but it's also challenging. Like when somebody is just starting out, you know, for them it might be they are changing their thoughts, that they are becoming more positive. And then I think as you get further along you get different awareness that it's you can start to kind of separate okay well yeah these are just thoughts they're not this so it's you know it's there's no right or wrong answer I don't think for making it through but definitely we definitely aren't kind of this ego this thing that we can witness and the fact that we're able to see a bad thought means that you are not the bad thoughts in that regards if you can see something it feels separate from you it's not you kind of thing right but And then later on, as you become more aware, you know that it kind of is you, but it's an integrated part of you. And when you integrate those things, you kind of become whole and centered. And yeah, so it's, I don't know, I just see a lot of this, although when I was really recovering and things were really challenging, I wasn't super happy with all of these sort of things, like these different egos and mind and this, and it's complicated and it's confusing, and 50 different people will tell you the right way to do it. And some of them worked really well, but it always brought me back to my heart, that anytime I got confused, I would just sit and feel my heart. And that really, it always felt like the real me. And it was always the place that when everything was kind of, even my mind was kind of really kind of all over the place, I could sit in my heart and it felt like I was sitting at home and I just could sort of witness this stuff that was going on. And sometimes I was confused. I'm like, why am I going through this? Why am I seeing all these thoughts? Why is this happening? And then sometimes I go, I don't know, but just sit and watch it. And that's what you can do. And that is a really huge skill set for people, especially I think at the beginning. And then as you go along, it kind of, it evolves, like it evolves, your perception of things evolve. And at some point we will just kind of collapse back into the whole, which will kind of feel like nothingness really. And then it all starts again. That circle of life will all start again. So
yeah. So basically, I have tried many different methods and I have tried things in the past, but my teaching these days are to bring to everyone's awareness that you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions and you are not even this physical body.
Yeah.
Because the physical body, I work with many people who have cancers or different illnesses, you know, MS, fibromyalgia, and I often ask them, who is the one who is experiencing this pain?
Yeah.
Who is the one who think is suffering?
Yeah.
And who is the one who is constantly looking to change this situation? And then in another part is thinking, what's the meaning behind it? Why am I experiencing this? It's probably there is a lesson in this and I have to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
Right? So, but then again, I'm saying we have another way. We can use another approach, which is coming up there, like the ego who is sitting all the way up there. And the ego has this sharp lens that is open because he's so way up there, and he's seeing this character into this wholeness. How big is this character's problem when you're looking from above, when you're looking at everything that is happening?
Yeah.
And is when we look from a higher consciousness, since there is no lens of judgment there, nothing is giving any meaning to it.
Yeah.
Because when I imagine myself of not having a judgmental lens, then nothing can translate as good or bad or right or wrong. And all these feelings that this character down here is going through, whether it's shame or blame or anger or something, as soon as I separate myself from this character and I ask myself, who is the one who's witnessing and who is the one who is experiencing things? Then I see that I'm not the experiencer. The this character is experiencing it, but I am not the character. I'm just looking at this character and I don't even have to give any meaning to it. Like, why did I get that? Or how did I attract that? Or how do I have to get rid of this now? So this, by imagining ourselves that I am not this entity, which is the mind ego, constantly separating myself from it, it comes to a point that for me, this I disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
No longer there was an I who was thinking
Mm-hmm.
or feeling or experiencing something.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the time that at this moment, I experienced that everything in me disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Like so often we think we need this, we need that, we need this, we need that. And we
Mm-hmm.
always think, well, we need oxygen, we need to breathe, and let's concentrate on all these different methods of breathing, because I, as a person, need to survive. And one of the survival elements that is necessary for human is breath.
Mm-hmm.
But I experienced this in one of my meditation, that I realized that the breath wasn't coming and going.
Mm-hmm.
And then the I freaked out and it
Mm-hmm.
says, did I die?
Mm-hmm.
And this I even brought the finger next to her nose to see, is it real? Is the breath really gone? And there was no breath.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, the character I question itself and question everything around it in a second.
Mm-hmm.
And it realizes that there is a higher power. And if this character surrender totally
Mm-hmm.
to the divine, to the
Yeah.
supreme, and once the character did that, the breath starts coming and going within.
Yes.
And the heart starts pumping within.
Yeah.
And this character realized that this body is not the character.
Mm-hmm.
This body is also a creation of the mind, of the thinking machine, and the
Mm-hmm.
ego.
Yeah.
So then this character, the physical body disappeared, and
Mm-hmm.
it became one as a vibration with everything, with the room, with the nature, with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this character felt eternal. And then
Mm-hmm.
this character at that moment realized that this character can only be. And life is happening through this character, not outside of this character.
Yeah.
And then it really clicked. There is nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. That really clicked.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a big realization when you hit that point. And I mean, I think you brought up some amazing points there. And that fact that when you realize that you are something bigger than this kind of flesh and bone here, is that it opens your world to so much more, in that you can start to, maybe not immediately, but you can start to let go of the fear of death. And most people don't really live a full life because they're afraid of dying. So we spend a whole life not living because we're scared of dying. And that just, when you say those words, it doesn't make sense, right? So the biggest gift, I think, of any type of spirituality or any connection, whether that is what we do or whether it's religion, whatever it is, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever gives you a connection to something bigger than yourself will change your life, because you start to let go of yourself and you start to believe and feel that you are part of everything, that you're not separate from the person that is across from us, and you're not separate from even the chair that you're sitting in, that everything is a connection of you, everything, nature, and you start to notice that everything changes with you, like nature changes with you, and everything will change with you. It's an amazing experience, and one that I wish for more and more people to experience, because it is literally life changing.
Mm. I pinned this question. Would you like to
Mm.
answer that?
So how can you guide us in this special time that how we get signs for finding the new path on our character and find new spiritual ways? So yeah, so I'm there can be, I would say, I would ask yourself first, I would just literally, I always ask my heart. If you ask your mind, you're going to be asking everything that everybody else has ever told you, because this is programming of everything that we've been told since birth. But if you ask your heart, I believe that this is our connection directly to spirit, and you can just literally feel your heart and ask a question and say, what is my path? What is an opportunity? And not kind of, these are always opportunities. Spirit will never force you to do anything. There's free will. So just ask for opportunities. What are the opportunities that I could take right now? And just put that question in your heart and just sit in silence. Just sit for 5 minutes and just listen. And then you know what? It might come to you in 5 minutes. It might come in 30 minutes. It might come in 2 days. I'm going to give you some examples of ways that stuff can come to you. When I was really having issues with brain injuries, and it was very difficult for me to think, so I had a very active mind. So I couldn't get these connections from spirit. I was asking and I couldn't see them. So my daughter would come up to me and she'd say, hey, Dad, do you want to come do meditation? And she was maybe 3 at the time. Or Dad, you should go talk to that person. And I would go, oh, okay. And if that didn't work, someone else would randomly phone me. Or I would open a book and the page would open and immediately my eyes would go to a certain section of that book and I would read it and I would get kind of this tingling sensation. And that was kind of what it is. So it really is getting back to feeling. And tingling and stuff like that is a big sign as well, that if I kind of get this like clunk or a tingling feeling and once I've asked a question, that I usually go, okay, well, I'm going to ask a few more questions about that. If I get the random thought that I should go walk down the street and knock on a door, maybe that's what I do. Or maybe I should go to the grocery store and I go there and then the person that I bump into says, oh, hey, I remember you from here. Or have you ever thought of doing this? And it's to open our mind that stuff can come to us in a million different ways. It doesn't have to be like some godlike spirit comes into the room and gives you a book and a scroll. It doesn't have to be like that. It's usually very simple. The other day when I was driving with my daughter in the car, I was driving and she said, you know, Dad, you need to be more open-minded. And I said, well, where does that come from? It came out of nowhere. We were just driving. And then she said another time, she goes, no, you're open-minded, but you could be more open-minded. So I said, okay. And I just took that as advice. And then I went home and I just started to become more open-minded. And that was guidance. It just doesn't always come in the way that we think that it's going to come to us. It's just be open to anything. It could be a tree branch, it could be a pet, an animal, a friend, a book, anywhere.
So I asked her to join us. Hello, Lavi.
Hello, hi, thank you. Thank you for your guidance.
So ask your question again.
Yeah, you know, these days it's a little bit hard for me. I'm solving some problems here, but these days I found something, and always I'm here. I don't know. Some of my friends always telling me, "You are good at this work. You are good at this work," and but sometimes I'm hearing it's too much, and different persons telling me the same way. But I'm so far from this point, from this situation,
Okay.
because I change it.
So hold on one second. Hold on one second. You are witnessing a character who is confused. Who is the one who is confused and looking for a path, and the path that she's already in at this moment is not right and it needs to change. And look, once this person is looking, so many paths are open and is confused. Who is this? Who is it? No, name it. Give me a name. Who is it?
Perisa.
Okay. So Parisa is that I that I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
Did you, as I was speaking, did you separate yourself from this I?
I think so. Yeah. In
Okay.
this time, I think I'm
But you're still the I. I don't think you have separated yourself from the I. How did you separate this I from yourself?
I think firstly, I changed myself. I think so. I don't know. Many ways. I
No.
went
Hold
to.
on, hold on. This I is still talking.
Hmm.
Stop. That wasn't the question. The question was, were you able to separate yourself from this confused I?
Yeah, I should. Sometimes I'm trying, but.
No, stay here. Don't go to some. Stay here, be present right here, right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you, at this
Okay.
moment, separate yourself from this I? Can you or can you not?
It's a little bit hard, but.
So let's put it this way. Build up a character. Just tell me, close your eyes and relax. Totally relax. In your eyes, mind, create a character separate from yourself. Once you find this character, explain how this character looks like.
It's so crazy. Really. I know her. Yeah, it's so crazy and powerful.
Yeah, I just need another character. Your mind is very imaginative, so create another character.
It's like an animal. It's running always, and I
Okay,
don't know.
it's an animal. What kind of animal? Is it a monkey? Is it a donkey? What kind of animal is it?
Like a wolf, something.
Wolf. Okay. So is this wolf friendly or is it
Yeah,
vicious? Do you
yeah,
like this wolf or don't you like it?
yeah. Of course, I like it.
You like the wolf? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's give this wolf a name.
Shelly.
Shelly. Okay. Okay. So right now, start asking your question. Start from the beginning. You can open your eyes now.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question?
Um, what, what is my spiritual path?
Who is asking this question? Who is the one who's wondering what is its spiritual path?
Actually, it's the wolf, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know why
Okay,
it's so.
hold on, hold on. Who is asking the question? Who's confused about the right path or the right path?
Actually, there is no right and wrong.
No, don't go there. Who is the one who was confused few seconds ago? Is it you or is it the wolf?
Parisa.
Who is Parisa?
There's I and a little bit ego, or maybe ego a little bit
The
Parisa.
I stays centered. Your mind is wandering too much. Stay centered. There is you, and there is the real you, and there is the I, ego, mind, wolf. Who is the one who was confused?
Yeah,
Who is it?
the wolf.
The wolf. Are you clear that it's the thinking machine is the wolf and is not the real you?
Mm-hmm.
Can you separate yourself from the wolf? From Shelley? Now ask your question again.
Yeah, what is the spiritual path?
Who's asking this?
Again, I think it's a mix up. Yeah,
Who is asking it? Is it you or is it Shelley?
Shelley.
Okay. So start by saying Shelley is asking this.
Yeah, Shelley is asking what's the spiritual path? Yeah, so it's not okay.
Okay, what?
I'm always mixing. Yeah, it's the problem is the machine, and
Are you the machine? Is the real you the machine?
it can be, but
Don't get confused. Stay centered. Are you your thoughts?
no.
Okay.
So I'm not the machine.
There
I'm
you go.
not.
Are you your feelings?
No.
The thoughts comes and goes.
Yeah,
But
feeling also.
a part of you doesn't split and go with the thoughts, does it?
No,
No. The thoughts are always coming and going. It's a movement.
like a cloud. Yeah.
Right. Emotions comes and goes. A part of you doesn't cut out and go with every emotion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Sorry.
getting back to that guru who said, what's real never changes. What's changing is not real. So the real you is constant, never changes.
The dominant energy.
Whatever is
Yeah.
changing, your thoughts, your emotions, your body, your physical body, that is changing constantly, that's not real, right?
Yeah, sure.
Simon, would you like to come in and say something?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think this, I think this, going back to the kind of the game and stuff as well, is to be aware that you can be your true self and you can also be these other little characters as well, and that's okay. That's okay to be those things and not to be hard on yourself for being like that, because everybody's like that. Even the highest beings we see on this planet that we think are like, oh, they have it figured. You know, they all have stuff that goes on. They all have negative thoughts. They all have all of this stuff. It's just they don't it doesn't become them. They're just witnessing them as you are right now. You're kind of being more your true self. You look very calm. Your aura has changed. You see you are stronger now than you were. You look more solid. Your emotions are more balanced. So this just came from just playing and having fun with life, and it doesn't have to be so serious. And that you got some guidance there from Sudi, which is incredible. But you did it in a really quick time as well. So um, I just like to highlight how well you're doing is a big part of it. That although the world sometimes feels like it's so hard and it's never going to happen, is that in 5 minutes you completely changed. And that's a big part of, I feel like, this journey. And And that if you really want to, if you want to play with the game and you want to, if you wish to really know what your path is to be someone that knows what their path is. To just say, hey, I'm going to be someone who knows what their path is. What would someone that knows what their path is going to say now? And then just see what words come out of your mouth. And if that doesn't work, then just keep playing and just keep going back to your center. And just, yeah, just follow what Sudi said, go back to your center and then just take your journey. And if you fall off the path, just go back to your center and then go on the journey again.
Yeah, because the confusion is through this machine.
Totally, yeah.
This machine is so heated because so many thoughts are being produced by the thinking machine. And of course, if we get involved with them, anybody will go crazy.
They do. And I think something to remember is that thoughts create emotion. And emotion is what makes us feel like thoughts are real. So because I feel anxiety, that thought must be real, but that's not true. Just all it is that we're made of chemicals and all sorts of stuff. And when you have a certain type of thought, if it's not aligned with your spirit, it will give you some feedback to let you know that you're not thinking like your spirit does, that you're thinking illusions, basically. So if you feel anxieties and stuff or anything, it's just to be aware, oh, I'm kind of aligned with some illusion thoughts here. I could go back to my center. And then you go back to your center. You can realize that you're not these thoughts. You're not these emotions. And then you can kind of recenter and then start again. And that's an amazing skill set that Sudi has just kind of demonstrated for someone there firsthand, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's funny how easily we can get rid of this false self. Ladan, would you like to join us? I sent you a join request if you want to join. Yeah, because Parisa is, she's experiencing the same thing. Like this recording is going on and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. And I know her for many years. And she's constantly thinking that where she's at is not right. She needs to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
This is not the right path. I have to be somewhere else. So.
Yeah. Actually, I have a little story I'll share really quickly. And I had that a lot when I was sitting in this chair in the room and I had all this stuff going on, the injuries, the pain and everything. And I couldn't do I wanted to go to medical school. I couldn't do that anymore. So I had all of these thoughts. And I would just meditate for hours and hours every day. I did this for about a year. I would do hours of meditation every day. And I got to a point where I would just sit there and something just clunked. And I remember thinking, I don't need to go to work anymore. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to eat anything really. I even remember saying to my wife, I was like, oh, Catherine, I don't think I can ever work again because I don't want to. I don't need to. And then I actually became worried. I'm like, well, that's not like anybody else. Nobody else is like this. I'm not gonna be able to eat and I'm not gonna be able to do this. And over time it shifts. Like you start to then, you can play with it then, but to get to that space where you don't need anymore is amazing. And I see it in many people. I see it in I've met some homeless people that have unfortunately through their circumstances have let go of everything, that they become very still. And I don't believe that homelessness should be anywhere on the planet. I believe that's something that shouldn't be on the planet, but I'm just going to give an experience. And some of these people had given up on all of that ego because they were forced to. They had to let go of everything. And there was a serenity and peace within them that is quite incredible because they have no wants and no needs. And and you can get to that place wherever you are, whether you're a doctor, whatever you're doing, you can reach that place. And then when you're in that place, you can start to ask questions. You can then start to say, hey, I'm in this place. I have no path. I don't need to do anything. What would I like to do? What would my soul like to experience? Would it like to experience being a doctor? Would it like to experience being a farmer? What would be fun? And then you play with that. And then once you've had enough of it, you just stop and then you do something different, or maybe you carry on. And I believe that's our soul's way of kind of playing here on earth, that once you kind of realize that you're not all of these things, is that it gives you a lot of power. You can then choose to be anything really. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. There's a reason our soul comes here, and it's to experience and get polarity and all these things that we can know ourselves more strongly and that we can know spirit more strongly. So yeah, I don't know. It's just it's easy to say when you're in a good place, but it's really challenging when you're not feeling great. Like when you're really worried and in anxiety, none of this stuff can make sense. But the fact that one person has done it means that you can do it. If there's one person on this planet that has sat in serenity and has sat in a place of knowing, is that you can do it. And that will never change. And the more people that keep doing this, the easier it gets for the next people that come along.
Yeah, you know, Simon, oftentimes people think where they're at is not the right place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't realize by making your place that you are in right now wrong, you are losing so much energy.
You do. Mm-hmm.
So they touch this a little bit, but they're not fully there.
Mm-hmm.
Their 100% energy is not there because they're thinking, oh, maybe those things are better than here. Therefore, they're putting 20-30% energy of clarity here. Yeah. They're not fully here, wholeheartedly are not here. So they think, oh, there are so many other options. What if I try this? What if I did that? So they don't realize that the reason when they're doing something, it's not really going and getting somewhere that they thought in the first place they want to be, is because they're not fully there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Being present.
So if Parisa and other people realize that, what if I realize that where I am right now is the right place at this moment, and I'm going to be full-heartedly with my whole energy here and see how this grows and how this manifests, right?
Yeah.
And the reason people can't really live their full potentials, because when some creative idea comes to them, they get into their thinking mind and they question it so much. Like you said, Simon, you said, I feel that I want to go to Costa Rica. And you're going there full-heartedly.
Yeah.
You said, I don't care if there's pandemic there. I don't care if whatever is going on. I am going there. But if you said we're going to go to, and then you and your wife sat down every day and you asked, was it the right decision? What are the consequences if we go there? What about this and that? Is it Canada has this or that? Maybe we should go back to England. Is Canada even right? Or you see, so you're all over the place. Therefore, no decision is the right decision.
Never. No.
People don't, it's so busy up here and they don't understand that until you learn that your thoughts are not yours and don't give them so much attention, don't give them so much energy, don't separate yourself from that thoughts, you always suffer. Suffering finish when you're totally over this thinking machine. You don't identify yourself with this character.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when I know that this is just a movie, I often tell people when they have private coaching session with me, I said, when you watch a movie, how often do you try to change the character? How much energy do you put to change that character? How much time do you spend to change the storyline? And they said, nothing, zero. I said, why? Because I'm just watching a movie. I said, exactly. Because you know it's not real.
Yeah.
If it really clicks for us that this reality, as we call it, reality, is not real, is only made up from this thinking machine, and all the storyline, the characters, and blah blah, the ups and downs and challenges and shadow and blah blah blah, is all created from the ego mind, then you wouldn't give so much attention and energy to your reality.
Yeah.
Why did we call it reality when it's not real, Simon?
You know what? We use a lot of words, and a lot of words get twisted as well, I think, to kind of, it gets confusing. And I think that's a big part, to go back to feeling, is that when we spend so much time thinking, we forget how to feel, and then we get lost in this maze of thoughts and and then the other thing as well is that anytime I have a thought, it creates an energetic connection to that thing and other people. And if those things have a lot of energy behind them, you start feeling that energy, and you start feeling those thoughts, and then you bring more thoughts in, and it becomes so much. But I do want to share that when it becomes too much, sometimes that is the biggest gift ever for you, because that is the place that can send you inwards. That when the point when you really reach your soul, just before you get there, it feels like chaos. It's like there's so much going on and everything's shaking, and then you just take one more step and then it goes clunk. And then you go, oh, why is it so quiet? It's like you reach the eye of the storm. And you're, whenever someone says, oh, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, if you weren't in the right place right now, you wouldn't be here. You know, God and spirit is, or whatever you want to call it, is way more intelligent than you could ever imagine yourself to be. There is no way you wouldn't be in the right place at the right time. So when you're present, you're in the right place at the right time, and go from there. Don't go from the past, don't go from the future, go from now. And when you're here, when I finish this call, I'm going to probably send an email, and I'm probably going to phone someone or do something, and that's going to lead somewhere else. And I'm going to go, and I'm going to, whatever information I've got from this today and the wonderful energy that I'm feeling, I'm going to take that with me. But I'm not going to try and change the world with it. I'm just going to see where this takes me and what interests me and what's fun and what's joyful, and follow that path. And joy and fun, if you can follow that, it's amazing. It'll lead you in some amazing places.
Absolutely. We have to really learn to be happy. Happiness is the highest vibration. To be happy, we have to know the thinking machine, the ego, this I, and separate ourselves from it. Then you are just it. It's just state of neutrality, that everything is happening. You're watching the movie. You're just enjoying the movie, and you really are not the character of this movie.
And you can laugh at it. You can start to laugh at yourself as well. Like, I catch myself sometimes, and I'm like, I'm doing stuff and I'm like upset, and I go, what are you doing? And then I go, you're wrapped up in some sort of thought or some sort of thing, and then you can just laugh at it and just be like, oh, okay. And someone says, yeah, it's happy is very difficult. And you know what? It is challenging to get to that place when you are not feeling it. But I believe it's a skill. I believe all of this stuff are skills that we can reconnect with. If I want to feel depression, I can take myself there, but I don't want to feel depression. So I don't want to go back to that place. So I just find that when we connect with our true self in the present moment, that things like happiness and joy automatically actually come up. When we kind of, the filter of all of these thoughts actually keep us kind of down low, but when we're able to kind of witness, the cork is able to kind of float to the surface. And when it does, things like more loving feelings and more joy kind of naturally will come up. And to give ourselves patience that this might take a bit of time. It doesn't always happen in 2 seconds. And yeah, so, and they said it's easy to be sad. It is easy to be sad. And it's, you know, once you spend more time being okay with being sad, sometimes I'm just okay with being sad. I'm like, you know what, today there's sadness. I'm just going to feel sadness. And then a lot of the time it passes, and then I start to feel happy again. And maybe this is just some trapped emotion. But if I'm feeling sadness and I start wondering, oh, why am I sad? And oh, that's probably because this person did that, and that happened here, and this is because my family didn't do this for me, and then it becomes big. It becomes this big, huge thing. But when you're just kind of feeling and witnessing, is that it maybe doesn't feel great, but it will pass. Emotions pass. And once they pass, you're able to kind of move on and kind of recenter. And maybe it takes 5 years for you, maybe it takes 5 minutes, but whatever it is, it's worth the journey. So.
Yeah, and Farzaneh, I would question the one who is saying being sad is easy. Question the one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I think those thoughts where we sort of say, well, being sad is being easy, is that you can then witness that and say, well, why is it easy? If you wish to, or you can just sit with it. I don't think there's any, like we've said, there's no real one way. But what I do know is that our true self is very joyful, it's very happy, and it's very loving. And if you always remember that, then you always know who your true self is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Simon, it was a pleasure doing a joint live with you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
I'm wishing you and your wife a very pleasant trip. Lots of joy, happiness, and prosperity.
Yeah, for sure. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. All right, everyone. I'm going to end this live. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. And also, don't forget, if you want to receive a gift, please subscribe to my English YouTube channel, Sudi Burnett English YouTube. If you subscribe, share, write comments, you guys will get a gift from me, and you can choose the gift, whatever it is, whether you want to get an English CD, prosperity, self-love, meeting with your spirit guides, or weight loss, or if you want to get something, some of you who are Persian, you want to get something in Farsi, you can do that. You can also choose from my Saturday's webinar, Emotional Balance, or I'm starting a new webinar on Sundays, from penniless to being your own boss. Love you guys. See you next Thursday. Bye-bye now.